right, taking another run at Paul Rudd. Got his type figured out. Got a little distracted by funny ENFPs. That happens. But yes, in fact, he is my best guess is audio, FE, play, consume, sleep, blast, last, number 4. Now he's talking to the Hot Wings guy is an INTJ guy, as far as I could tell. Definitely in these clips. So there's a good contrast of, I have a baseline of the Hot Wings guy, kind of an annoying INTJ guy, NITE, and then comparing that as a baseline against Paul, right? So watch this. The INTJ guy is going to give him a perfect pitch. He's going to literally say, hey, when you're doing all these interviews, isn't it hard to track all the sensory and track all the facts, the details, because you just keep over clumping something? And then doesn't it just get hard because you start to lose the story because the story just gets so refined down to a common NI and you just forget all the details? And Paul is going to go, I have no idea what you're talking about because I have completely different functions. And what's Paul going to say?
So whenever I get asked questions about hot ones, I always find myself delivering these parables over and over, which I find when I do it, perhaps some of the nuance is lost. And you're somebody who's been doing press around TV and film for 25 years. Do you ever think about how much your narrative is shaped by the need to package the details of your life into these instantly accessible anecdotes?
Right? There's your INTJ setup. This is where predictability comes in. If you're able to really track somebody, you should be able to stop, pause the video, and it's going to take a minute. You got to sit down, you got to do the math. You're like, okay, hold on. Okay, so my name's Paul. I have Demon TI and I have Demon SI. So it's something about truth. It's something about the truth. Like, okay, what the hell? So it's like, oh, I'm saying this FENE all the time, but then I can't really get down. I don't remember. Is that SITI true to me? It's going to be something like that.
A great question. After a while, you get used to answering the same question, so you just kind of think of a different way to say the same answer. And at a certain point, I don't know whether or not that is the way it happened, if that's really true, or it's just I've answered that question so many times that it's now the truth or the way I feel about it. Many people have asked me about how'd you get started, and I used to love those Steve Martin comedy records when I was a kid. And I was thinking, like, maybe I want to do this for a living because of those. That was kind of the first time. And I've said that so many times in interviews. I think it's true. It might not be true, but it's such a limited window. You have a few minutes to talk about it, and then it's just it becomes the default answer.
Right? Isn't that fascinating? So like all of us do that. So like let me try and think of where I've done something like that in my life. So it's like people say like, hey, why didn't RC airplane? So which I don't get that question anymore. But it's like I'm like, well, and then like you're stunned for an answer. Like well, when I was a little kid, I had airplane wallpaper, and we lived by Moffett Field, so I'd always see the jets and the military planes flying over all the time. So, yeah, and the guy down the street, he had an RC airplane, and he flew it, it got stuck on a tree, and I thought it was the Russians. And like, I think these stories are true. I think that's why I got into airplanes. I think so. I'm pretty sure. But like what he's saying, like if you're just like somebody, and you're just like, you don't really get to walk away and process that. You're like, oh yeah. But notice, we're having the same things. It's like, it's not like Paul he can't get into pocket knives, or I can't get into cookies, or we were telling the same bullshit stories all over again so many fucking times. I don't know. I can't get my head straight. Right? But the difference is what? Where is the priority of the triggering? Where is the priority of the problem? Like for me, I'm like, yeah, I don't know. Maybe that airplane story isn't that true. Whatever. I could talk it out and work it out. Not a big deal. But for Paul, he's going to be like, I don't know. All right, this next clip here is a really good one on social type force and how they'll eventually see the scams of the ones and the twos, and they don't really like it.
And then late night, it's its own beast, because then there's this implicit expectation to perform.
Yeah.
As someone with stage experience, are you more comfortable in a setting like that than, say, like a film junket?
No, they're all, those things are always nerve-wracking. And I think I learned at an early age that it's all artificial. As a kid, I would watch Letterman and I'd be like, oh my God, this is amazing. I mean, it was amazing, and he is amazing, but I think, like, so cool, like, friends coming over and sitting on the couch.
Friends on the couch.
Later on, I realized, oh, they're promoting
Barbecues.
something, like, they're selling, there's a machine going on, and some of that commercialism, it was like, ugh. As I started to do that, and knowing that part of the job has become selling things, and there are some things that are really fun to do. But I was very excited to do this, and
We're excited to have you.
And thank you, and there are shows that I like. And I also have a thing where I just can't answer anything seriously. It's just like, oh, just shut up, nobody wants to hear you talk.
Shut up, blast last.
Which is perfect in this setting.
Yeah, absolutely.
The blast last. Nobody wants to hear you talk. Like the blast last, like everybody wants to hear me talk. I don't know why. Fine, I'll talk for you. But yes, you see, like literally we'll say the phrases like the fours, sit on the couch, hang out with friends, barbecue, stuff like that. And it's very true. They're like, yeah, let's just, why do you gotta sell stuff? Why do I gotta have the scams? Why it's like, well, I know. All right, this last clip here, you can see Paul, you can see his masculine TI leak out a little bit. You can see that he kind of really doesn't like doing this show. He's kind of in a lot of pain from the stupid fucking hot sauce. He thinks what the INTJ guy is doing is scammy and douchebaggery, which it fucking is, which is why I don't like that INTJ guy so much. I don't like that show because it's too cringy. It reminds me of myself. It's too like blaster douchebag. I got a scam bullshit. And so Paul is like seeing that and not really agreeing with it, but he can't say anything because it's Demon TI, but it's there if you look for the little micro expressions. So watch this.
Paul Rudd.
Yeah, what is it?
Look at you. 10 cauliflower vegan wings up. 10 cauliflower vegan wings down.
See?
This camera, this camera, this camera. Let the people know what you have going on in your life.
I got nothing going on.
Careful around your eyes.
Yeah, that was another mistake.
Another mistake. TISI mistake.
The finger might have not been the smartest. You know what?
It was good for the scene, though.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, we don't need to. Again, the artificiality of the. I'm not here to sell anything. I'm here to celebrate. This is a celebration, not commercial.
Oh my gosh. Rub some fucking hot sauce in my eyes.